If you have jerry curls, sometimes you go when the ball is not feeling right. you rub it on the ball and the ball moves a lot more.
PitchingNinja, PitchingNinja. We got sliders and fastballs and curveballs too. When you step in the box, man, you're gonna be through.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another fabulous edition of the PitchingNinja Show. As you might suspect, I am PitchingNinja, and I'm here with my buddy, my pal, my producer, Will Leahy.
What up, Ninja? Great to see you as always. I'm going to limit the deGrom talk today, but went to the game Friday night to watch the man operate, and boy did he not disappoint. 5 perfect innings, 1 hit through 6. He had the 2 game-winning RBIs, lowered his ERA to .56. I caught a foul ball, no sticky stuff on it. Just an all-around great evening.
Help me with this, Will. So how big of a catch was this of this foul ball? Did you lay out? Did you knock kids away from it? Who hit it? What happened with this foul ball, Will?
All right, I may have taken some creative liberties with saying I caught a foul ball. What really happened was, I believe somebody threw a foul ball threw a ball into the stands. As I was walking to my seats, it basically fell at my feet. I was crowded by a bunch of kids. I came up with it with beers in hand. It was a really athletic play, I thought. I was about to give it to some kid, and they all stormed off, pissed off. So, I came out with a W. But anyway, moving on. The Angels, great to see they're playing great. They lost last night, but they won 8-10. Definitely rooting for them to be in it. We need Trout to get in the playoffs and get off the schneid to win his first career playoff game. It'd be great to see Ohtani in there. Walsh has a super lively bat. But all baseball fans should be rooting for the Angels to be in the playoffs.
I totally agree with you. I drop everything every time Ohtani is pitching, and I even like watching him hit. And obviously Trout, one of the just premier attractions in the game, greatest player you'll ever see. They do have to make it at some point. I'd like to see them, and I'm sure they will. If they keep at the current pace, they're likely to add some pieces to just make sure that they make it. I got to imagine maybe even Max Scherzer might be around, and there'll be a little bidding war for him. But Ohtani has really stepped it up. His command has gotten better, as one would suspect, once his blister problems seem to have gone away. Now he's got a little bit of a balk problem, but that's a totally different thing because I'm not sure those balks existed. I think they were just called because umpires were just being overly sensitive or something like that, as some umpires do.
Speaking of pitchers being called out, the biggest story in baseball these days is pitchers using junk. And we all know that commenters on the internet are pure scum, but can we please stop this whole narrative that all pitchers are just villains now? Anytime I see a pitch with any remote break, every comment is just some unfunny D-bag saying something about the guy cheating. And I've had enough.
As somebody that does a fair amount of tweeting, you couldn't be more right. It is the most annoying thing because I think a lot of people think this is somehow a witty comment or something like that. It is now a dull, boring, you're just showing your lack of understanding. I had people saying Ohtani was using sticky stuff because he threw a nasty splitter. The idea of a splitter is low spin rate, not high spin rate. He's not using sticky stuff on a splitter. That's just not even thinking. So you get comments like that. You get people that are well, the game today is tarnished. I'm the game today isn't tarnished because of sticky stuff. It has always been part of the game. From every single pitcher that you have ever considered your favorite pitcher, almost definitely was using sticky stuff.
When you say cheating, there's that gray area, and using pine tar to help your curveball, stuff like that. Those are things that are done in the game that are accepted as part of the game. So I wouldn't sit here and tell you no that I wouldn't do those things, including scuffing the ball. Right, times, but I don't do that. But you have done it at times? No. would you tell me if you had? No, I wouldn't tell you if I had.
Guys have been cheating ever since baseball's been baseball, one way or another. And you talk about the old White Sox scandal or whatever it was. The guys have just been cheating, and they throw spitballs, and if you can get an edge, you get an edge.
If you have jerry curls, sometimes you go when the ball is not feeling right. you rub it on the ball and the ball moves a lot more.
I interviewed Tom House.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
He kept sandpaper in his glove. He had pine tar in the heel of his glove. He did everything he could to get an edge. And in fact, he said that it was very well understood that if you needed to prolong your career by using sticky stuff or by doctoring the ball, everybody looked the other way because it's a family. You don't call pitchers out. You don't necessarily do the Josh Donaldson and go, Garrett Cole, like almost every pitcher he's ever faced or pitchers that have pitched for his team have done this for a variety of different reasons. For one, the rule's always been kind of questionable because it was more focused on predictability of ball movement, putting stuff directly on the ball like spit or Vaseline or discoloring the ball with pine tar so that you couldn't pick it up. It was more focused on that versus increased spin rate on a fastball. In the end, MLB has the right to crack down on it. Everybody should play by the same rules. You shouldn't be getting an edge because of this, even though traditionally that has gone on. I am totally cool with it, but don't pretend for a second that your favorite pitcher didn't do it. This stuff has happened forever. They've just gotten better because you can scientifically test what substance makes the ball spin the best. That's the only difference. It just turned from an art to a science.
And now, PitchingNinja's Top 10 Filthiest Pitchers of the Week.
At number 10, Jack Leiter. Number 1, because he nearly decapitated a guy at the plate, and this home plate view is insane. But number 2, just throwing upper 90s with that wicked breaking ball. Like, you can give it to his fastball or his curveball if you wanted to. And then we have Kevin Kopps, just a tribute to his cutter, which was the best pitch in college baseball this year. I mean, you could argue Kumar's slider is maybe equal, but Kopps being SEC Pitcher of the Year, giving it his all. I will give it out of respect and a tip of the cap to Kevin Kopps. At number 9, Liam Hendricks losing his mind on this slider. It was a nasty slider, but Liam Hendricks gets extra style points because he screamed at the top of his lungs, and I love this. At number 8, Carlos Rodon, who's having a monster season. His slider continues to be absolutely disgusting. Overlaid here with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, which also looked disgusting. Like, that thing looked like a cutter to me. Just on fire, Carlos Rodon. At number 7, Dick Mountain's curveball. This curveball is totally filthy, and anytime I can say Dick Mountain, I will, so he often will make this happen. At number 6, Edwin Diaz's front door 99-mile-an-hour fastball. I have no idea how you hit this pitch. You just might as well give up if you see this. You can't do anything with it. At number 5, Shohei Ohtani's 99-mile-an-hour cutter. I don't know if this was intentional or not, but to throw a 99-mile-an-hour cutter like this is like just top-notch alien stuff. At number 4, Craig Kimbrell's knuckle curve. Kimbrell's had several filthy knuckle curves this week, and we can put any of them in there. But that knuckle curve makes everything he does so much tougher because they tend to start out looking like a fastball and then end up way different. He is throwing the ball as if he's throwing a fastball, and that thing is just disgusting. Speaking of disgusting, at number 3, Tyler Rogers with his rising slider. This again, unhittable pitch. And I actually overlaid it with his fastball, and you can see the slider rise up above his fastball, which is just weird. At number 2, Zach Wheeler against Albies, disarming him. Freaking awesome. I love it. And Wheeler is having himself a hell of a season.
Ninja, I know you don't agree, but I honestly think this is my start of the year. The utter shame on Albies' face. The man is just absolutely mortified.
I think it's great, but if you tell me that that's better than the Miguel Castro Marte one, I cannot make that argument. I just can't. An honorable mention goes to Marwyn Gonzalez, who I think had the biggest velo spread, maybe since StatCast has been around. But he threw a 40-something mile an hour ephus and then a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. You know, sometimes having position players pitch is fun. I don't want it all the time, but it's kind of like ice cream. I mean, you don't want to eat ice cream for every meal, but I mean, I like myself some ice cream. At number 1, I know we mention Jacob deGrom all the time, but Jacob deGrom. He threw a 95-mile-an-hour slider. Again, I didn't stutter. A 95-mile-an-hour slider. That sounds ridiculous. It is ridiculous. That thing is not hittable, especially when you see it overlaid against a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. It's 95 miles an hour. It's faster than the average major league fastball, and it's a slider. Totally next-level stuff from DeGoat.
Now for the long dong of the week, I'm actually going to give a runner-up this week to Shohei Ohtani for this 470-foot dong. Just friendly reminder, this guy is an ace pitcher, and he's hitting 470-foot dongs. Look at this thing. But the long dong of the week goes to Anthony Rizzo, not for the length of the dong, but for the length of the at-bat. On the 14th pitch he saw, he jacks it out of Wrigley. The crowd has a collective conniption. He's screaming around the bases like he's the closer on the south side. I got the chills. Just amazing to see fans back.
I think that is a really good point. The thing that jumped out to me was having stadiums full again is so cool. I love baseball. You can play it in a total vacuum and on the moon and I'd like it, but it is so much better in front of a packed house.
Baseball is back. So Ninja, the Super Regional just wrapped up in the College World Series. It's the best 8 teams left now. It's been pretty crazy with some unbelievable pitching. What have you thought so far about this?
Well, I mean, for one, you had an absolute college legend, Kevin Kopps, walk off the field for the last time in college. And that, if you're a fan of baseball, certainly if you're an Arkansas fan, but if you're a fan of baseball, him walking off and getting that hug in the dugout, that will... There's no crying in baseball. You might cry a little bit on that. One of the great college seasons of all time. I think he had, 12 wins, 11 saves, a sub-1 ERA. They put him in as a starter, even though he's been kind of a reliever/closer. So he's been like their high leverage guy the entire season, and was like, all right, you're starting this game after throwing the day before. And he threw into the 9th. A warrior. And, It shows you the emotion. Kumar Rocker walking off the field, Hawkins Field for the last time for Vanderbilt, and his mom crying in the stands. That shows you the emotion in college baseball. You had Jack Leiter absolutely step it up, but it is so much fun. College baseball, we mentioned fans cheering and all that. It is up here when it comes to that. When it comes to emotion of pitchers and hitters, players, coaches, and fans, the tailgating before games, the loyalty that you have to your team. College baseball is one of the most underrated sports that there is. Like, it is fantastic.
All right, so who's best suited to win this whole thing?
So best suited, like I would think, obviously over the long season, Arkansas was the best team. They're out now. The best teams for something like this would have 2 dominant pitchers that you can throw back to back, be very tough to beat both of them. So you're always going to like split it best. Yeah, it'd be.
This sounds like a team we've featured on the show a few times. Ninja.
It is. Vanderbilt's got a good offense, but if you tell me that you're going to beat both Leiter and Rocker, not to say it can't happen, it's baseball, things happen, but those guys could play for most major league teams right now, and Leiter has just, I mean, Rocker is just a stud, and in situations like this turns his game up even more. He, famously had a 19 strikeout no-hitter in the Super Regional his freshman year. And then you have Leiter, who's touching 99 in games, and his breaking stuff is now back. Like, he's always had good off-speed stuff, but he lost at the beginning of the season. When he was doing well, he was relying on his fastball. And now he's got everything clicking, and he's a competitor too. So I like Vanderbilt. Again, though, it's baseball. Anything could happen, but that'd be where I put my money, Will. Well, it's been another fantastic week of the Pitching Ninja Show. So until next time, I'm going to K-strut on out of here. Keep throwing flames.
Strike 3!